Welcome to Lil Blender Tuts. This lesson will be focused on how to create this stunning particle text logo reveal effect in Blender 3.0. Let's get started. First, select and delete the default cube. Press Shift-A and select text. Press 3 to change to side view, then press R. Hold Ctrl and move the mouse up until the text is aligned with the Z axis. Then, left-click. Alternatively, you could press R, then type -90 and then hit Enter. Press 1 to go back to front view, then press Tab to go into edit mode. Here you can edit the text. Press Tab again to go back into object mode. Navigate to the object option in the top left. Click it and move down to the Convert option. Move over and left-click Mesh. You're doing great. Press Shift-A, under Mesh, left-click UV sphere. Press S, then press point 1 and enter. Press G, then move the UV sphere above the text. We will make one more object. We are choosing the cube this time. Move it out of the way. Let's move on. We will duplicate the text mesh by pressing Shift-D, then we just right-click. Now the fun part. Select the first text mesh. Under the Modifier tab select Add Modifier, and under the column Generate, select Geometry Nodes. Then, at the top of the window, in the Active Workspace tabs, select Geometry Nodes. We will create 5 nodes. First, we will press Shift-A, navigate to Point, move right and select Point Rotate. Left-click to drop in onto the gray line. We will do the same thing 2 more times, except we will select Point Scale, then we will select Point Distribute, laying them next to each other down the line in the order we created them. Now we will create 2 more. Attribute Randomize, and Point Instance. We will adjust the settings. In the Point Scale node, change the factors to 0.01. Then in the Point Distribute node, change it from random to Poisson disk. Change the density to 2000, hover the mouse over the density input value but this time press I. This will change the color to yellow, indicating a keyframe has been added. In the Attribute Randomize node, in the input value called Attribute Type Rotation, change the max to about 7.7. In the Point Instance node, change it to Object. And change the default value to Cube. Now that we are finished with the geometry, let's move on to the particles. First, select the second text mesh we created. On the right, under the Modifier tab you'll find the Particle Properties tab. On the top right corner on the section you will find a plus and minus. Click the plus. We will edit the settings of the particle system. Under Emission, change number to 2500. Now, under Render, select Render As, and pick Object. Adjust Scale to 0.01, and adjust Scale Randomness to 1.0. Uncheck the Show Emitter option. Still under Render, and under Object, change Instance Object to Cube. If you press play, you will notice the particles. Let's give them some direction. Remember the sphere? Select it. Next, underneath the Particle Properties tab, you will find the Physics Properties tab. Click it please. Now, we will use the Force type. Change the Shape option to the Surface. Now, adjust the strength to -14.7. And the flow, adjust to 3.6. That's it for the particles. You can play with the settings and make your own adjustments as needed. Try pressing play and select the sphere to move it about and watch the particles follow. Note the start and end of the particle emission. We will be syncing our geometry to the particle in order to get the effect we want. Let's go back to the text mesh with the geometry nodes. Do you remember? Now adjust the timeline marker to the end of the simulation. Go into the Geometry Workspace, under Point Distribute, change the density max to 0 and press I. Now if you play back from the beginning you will see the geometry dissipate according to the keyframes you've added. In addition, select the sphere. At the first frame, press I, and click Location. Adjust the timeline to the end, grab the sphere with G, and move it to a desired location. Now press I and select Location again. Replaying the simulation with show the particles following the sphere. You may need to make your own adjustments once you reach this point. You can make this effect with any mesh you would like. You can also change the depth of the mesh if you are going for a 3-dimensional type of logo. You may also change the material for the cube to give the render your own personal touch. Bonus tip: try using a collection of objects with different materials instead of just one object. Thank you for watching Lil Blender Tuts. Please like and subscribe. We will catch you in the next video.